So board 15, we have Vinciguerra and Team Black with legitimately someone named Black on it. Peter Bertho. Okay, so this, I think I was correct that this is the Swedish team of sorts. So we have Bertho, we have Peter Frieden, and I'm not sure who else on the team. Ooh, and we have the, I guess the two sponsors maybe? Maybe we shouldn't sit at this table then. Yeah, let's go to the other table. Let's go to the other table. Okay, so at this table we have Bessis and Lorenzini, east-west for Vinciguerra, and Hult and Hallberg sitting north-south for Team Black. First seat, south passes, west opens a club, north passes, east definitely going to show his heart suit. And I mean, I think over like a no trump, depending on whether or not east-west are forced to show their 4-card spade suit in this position, east might just bid 4 hearts, figuring that that's probably the best contract he can hope for. Over a spade, it might be a little less certain as to what east should do. Like maybe east will elect to jump to 3 hearts. Maybe east will make a game-forcing 2-diamond bid and show his heart suit. But the 1 spade bid doesn't promise any heart support. So east might think, well, I have a good 6-card suit, but it could be opposite a singleton or void. So he elects to make the 3-heart bid. I imagine west will bump this to the 4 level. He has a 13 count, and he does happen to have a little bit more heart support than he originally promised. I mean, he promised none, and he happens to have 2 of them. But I guess we'll see if he does raise, and he does. Okay. So there are a couple of testing defenses that can happen. I mean, for starters, if South elects to lead a club, which I think South is going to lead a diamond. I expect South to lead the Jack of Diamonds. It's the only unbid suit on the auction. But if South were to lead a club, it could go 3 rounds of clubs, forcing Declare to, like, you know, ruff, and South would over ruff. But additionally, if something like that happens, or if South just leads at trick 1 a low spade, the only way for Declare to make this contract, because he has 2 clubs and a heart to lose, is to take a spade finesse to discard his diamond loser. Or I suppose, you know, maybe he can squeeze South in the pointed suits. Also possible. So what Declare really wants to do in this position is pull as many trumps as possible, duck a couple of clubs, and then test the diamond suit. Because if the diamonds are breaking, he doesn't need to take the spade finesse or come up with some unusual squeeze. But if the diamonds aren't breaking, then he will need the spade hook. I don't know if the defense is going to be friendly enough to allow him to combine chances in that way. Like, I have the suspicion that South, when he gets in with the 3rd round of hearts, might find a low spade switch to put Declare to an immediate guess. But, I mean, also might not, right? He may well just switch to the Jack of Diamonds because it's safe, or put a club through because his partner's signaled for clubs. The 10 of hearts lead is not something I was expecting. I mean, it makes some sense. There's no real heart holding that this blows a trick. Right? If your partner has the king of hearts, it's on side, and you're still scoring your jack. If your partner has the queen of hearts, this is fine. You still get your jack of hearts. Partner has the ace of hearts. I mean, you're giving Declare a little bit of help in pulling trumps, but he could always have led up towards his king-queen twice. So a heart lead's kind of safe, but it doesn't feel like one of those hands where we needed to be pulling dummies trumps. Although, you know, I say that. West has bid everything other than diamonds. Maybe there's some chance that he's sitting on some sort of like 5-4-3-1 shape with a singleton diamond. So the trump lead makes sense. Declare is spending a lot of time thinking. The other table has already made 4 hearts. I think I'm going to quickly pull that up and take a look at the line of play. Okay, we got ace of clubs lead, king of clubs lead, jack of clubs. Well, this was not particularly testing because Declare gets to ruff, South over ruffs, but now the queen of clubs is set up for a discard, so Declare does not need the spade finesse. Can just win the ace, pull trumps, and has 10 tricks. Which honestly means I wouldn't be surprised if Declare goes down at this table. I expect him to make, but there's definitely the possibility that the defense is clever enough to put him to a bit of a guess here. I am a little bit shocked that he hasn't played to trick 1 yet. Maybe he's considering ducking the opening lead. That would be very unfortunate for him, because then South could get a trump promotion by playing 3 rounds of clubs. So, like, it kind of looks to me like the best plan from Declare's perspective is to just play 2 rounds of hearts and then lead a club and hope that you're able to duck a couple of clubs, or maybe play 2 rounds of hearts and then test the diamonds. Or maybe play 3 rounds of hearts so that if the opponents don't play a spade through, you can then test the diamonds. All right, he plays a diamond towards the king. Maybe something that was scaring him, and this I hadn't really mentioned, is the possibility that South truly led from a singleton 10 of hearts. So maybe he's now hoping to lead a heart, and if North followed small, he would put in the 9. That's possible. Okay. Queen of diamonds. Well, I see what he's kind of hoping for, but this could cause him a little bit of grief. The diamonds are not splitting. Wow! What a play. He just took the spade finesse. He stripped all of his entries to dummy and then played a spade to the queen. He would have gone down an extra trick if that didn't work. Well played. Something that probably happened there was, and this is a clever play that I think is a little underutilized by a lot of declarers, but Thomas is a very, very strong card player, where a lot of his thought process at trick 1 might not necessarily have been about the heart suit, right? I had kind of mentioned that could be why he was thinking and worried that this might be a singleton. But he might have said, hey, I want to find out if the diamonds are splitting, and if not, I'm going to need to take the spade finesse. And so at trick 2, when he led a low diamond, this is a position where both opponents are very likely to give honest count in the suit. So when South played low and North played the 4, and then he played the queen of diamonds next, and North followed with the 7, and South the 8, looks like the opponents are playing upside down count and attitude. He now assumed that the diamonds were 4-2. And so when he played a heart to the king, I mean, he could have kind of dawdled for a little bit, right? Like, he definitely could have, rather than just taking the spade finesse immediately, exited a trump, tried to play on clubs first, even cash the ace of diamonds. There would have been nothing wrong with leading a trump and eventually cashing the diamond ace to kind of confirm his suspicions. But he was so confident in his read about the diamond suit that he just took a spade finesse immediately. So well played to push the board there after his teammates offered up a bit less resistance, although it was sided differently in the other room. Board 16, North preempts 2 hearts. We get 2 no, just natural by East. He has a 16 count with 2 heart stoppers. 4 hearts by South, and now West has a choice to make, right? Because the heart void and the fact that he's vulnerable makes it seem plausible that 5 of a minor is a good spot. But additionally, the fact that his partner overcalled 2 no means that his partner might have a lot of wasted values in the heart suit. And he's a little bit light in high card points, so there's no guarantee that he's making at the 5 level, but Cedric elects to bid 4-0. Hopefully pick a minor. There are definitely players in the world who might play this as natural. And there are players who might believe it's pick a minor and still pass. So Thomas might actually just pass this. Like, he's not worried about hearts. He's happy that he has good support for the minor suits. Maybe he's going to be a little concerned that the opponents can run spades against him, and that could be a reason to pull to 5 clubs, say. But he's thinking about it. He probably knows partner's exact shape. Wow, other room bid to 5 clubs got doubled and went down 1. Dubbing 5 clubs feels optimistic by South. Like, from South's perspective, he shouldn't expect that both the ace, king, or spades are cashing. I mean, West could easily be 6-6-1 in the minors for this type of bidding. But maybe it's an okay bid at imps. I mean, if you're wrong, you're probably only giving up 4 imps. And if you're right, maybe you collect a sizable penalty. Like, if you can go ace, king, of spades, spade ruff, that would be a big result. I guess we'll see what East does. I mean, South is definitely not going to double 4-0. How bad is 4-0 trump? It looks like Declare, if he guesses it, has 5 clubs, 2 hearts, and a spade. It sounds like 8 tricks, and that's going to be down 2. That would be a funny way to push the board. But, of course, that's against a spade opening lead. If South makes the mistake of leading a heart against 4-0 trump, then the contract will make, as long as Declare guesses both the minor suits. Oof. We do see an instant double by South. So, same auction in both rooms. I mean, effectively the same. North opened 2 diamonds, which was single suited major preempt. Well, king of spades lead. We will see 3 rounds of spades played. I wouldn't be all that surprised if Declare misguessed the club suit, but I guess I also have the feeling that Declare might cleverly work out that diamonds are 2-2 because there was no diamond ruff. And therefore, when it goes ace, king of spades, spade to the queen, and North follows, we can kind of count North's shape as 3 spades, 6 hearts, 2 diamonds, and therefore 2 clubs. But let's let him work this out for himself. So king of spades, ace of spades, spade. Has to be a spade. Obviously, South now knows that his partner's not roughing the 3rd round because North discouraged in the spade suit, but it's still, I mean, you don't want to lead a diamond away from the ace. Your partner could have queen doubleton of diamonds instead of queen doubleton of clubs. And a heart lead doesn't really seem to accomplish much with this dummy face up on the table. So I think a spade exit just has to be the best chance for the defense to collect that queen of clubs. He finds it, and man, North-South at this table have had very strong defense so far, but they have been going up against one of the best declarers in the world, Thomas Bessis. So we'll see if he makes kind of the same read that I suggested, where if he now thinks that diamonds are 2-2 between the hands, he will have a full count on North's shape, and can therefore just play North for the doubleton club. I mean, maybe what's going to happen now is he pitches a diamond and he might lead a diamond. Because if South is sitting on ace-jack 3rd of diamonds and gives his partner a diamond ruff, it's going to come at the cost of a natural diamond trick. So that's very possible. That might give him a little bit more information about the hand. And in fact, I think if he does that, South might win the diamond ace and switch to trumps to guess the trump suit for him. But we'll see. He is taking his time. These have not been easy hands to play. And, I mean, Thomas is not necessarily like a super fast player, but I've never really thought of him as being particularly slow either. But sometimes you just run into these deals back to back where they require a lot of effort. And we might see more of this as we move deeper into the tournament. Like, this is a quarterfinal matchup, so the stakes are a little bit higher for winning. Similarly for the semifinals tomorrow and the finals the next day. If you can spend an extra minute on the important hands and get those ones right, that's going to give you a much better chance to win the event overall. Okay, and so he does go with this kind of, I guess you can call it as declare a discovery play in the diamond suit. But this will give him all of the information he needs. You know, strongest defense by South is actually probably to play another round of spades. He plays back the jack of diamonds, now Tomas wins. He's seen North now show up with exactly 3 spades. exactly 2 diamonds, exactly 6 hearts, and therefore a doubleton club. I suppose there's some chance North has a 4-card spade suit and therefore only 1 club, but that I had kind of already discounted that possibility. You know, a lot of players don't like to preempt with a side 4-card major. And kind of regardless, it's just very unlikely that North has 4 spades. So Thomas is probably just like double checking, thinking about all the possibilities, but I expect him to get this one right. Ace of clubs, club, and now the moment of truth. The suspense is killing me. He might be a little worried about this possibility that North could have 4 spades. I mean, especially given he's probably aware with the speed at which South doubled 5 clubs. And he's kind of working over in his mind, like, would South definitely double 5 clubs with the hand that he held? Ace, king, jack, 5th of spades, ace, jack, doubleton of diamonds, nothing in the club suit? Maybe. He does go up king. Very well done. And so that's going to be down 1 for a push, but 2 very, very hard-earned pushes from his side. And I think he's hoping that the hands get a little bit easier. Well, this one looks pretty easy. He has a bunch of hearts and nothing else. Although, once again, there's just a massive result in the other room. 4 hearts bidden made on East's hand. Like, trumps are 5-1. The clubs split very badly with queen jack 4th offside. I don't think 4 hearts makes... I mean, not double dummy, but I don't think 4 hearts makes single dummy. If the hard suit split better, it is technically possible to use the ace-king of clubs entries to dummy to rough out spades. But I think South is just going to lead a singleton club. 4 hearts might get doubled and go down. How could this... Well, let's wait until the auction's over to confirm that 4 hearts is the same contract here. But I'm confused as to how Declare took 10 tricks in a heart contract in the other room. So we start off, North opens a diamond. East overcalls a heart. We get 3 diamonds preempted by South. I really like the 3 diamond preempt here. South sitting on 5 hearts. Might expect the opponents to have a fit in one of the black suits. And, I mean, he's wrong about that. But preempts do tend to work out better when your opponents haven't discovered their fit yet. So South jumping to 3 diamonds might now force the opponents to an uncomfortably high level before they can figure out what's going on. 3 spades by West is a bid. I was thinking West might make a responsive double to show both black suits, which I think would be pretty normal here. But of course, Cedric is sitting here saying, well, if we have a 5-3 spade fit, I need to bid spades, right? Because a responsive double might not necessarily discover the 5-3 fit. So he bids 3 spades. This will probably fetch a 4-heart bid from Thomas. I mean, what else, right? You can't pass 3 spades. I don't think you want to raise 3 spades to 4. even though I suspect most of the time your partner will have a pretty good spade suit for this bid and singleton 10 is okay, the thing is, like, the opponents are going to be able to knock out your entry to the heart suit, which is the heart suit itself. And so the entire source of tricks in your own hand is going to get stranded if you play it in spades, whereas playing it in hearts, hopefully partner's hand is going to be useful to you. Partner probably has club values as well as his spade suit. But Tomas' thinking, you know, I can't imagine he's thinking about passing, but maybe that's possible. Okay, so we do see him bid 4 hearts. South passes very quickly. And actually, I really like South's pass because South is probably sitting here thinking, hey, Tomas spent a while deciding between 4 hearts and raising to 4 spades. I have 3 small spades, therefore I know spades is the better contract for them. So South didn't want to double and risk Tomas running to 4 spades. I think that's the reason he doubled. All right, well, ace of diamonds lead. I mean, this is instantly going to spell disaster. If it goes ace of diamonds, jack of diamonds, diamond, declare ruffs, and man, okay, I want to quickly look to see how this contract made. Oh boy. 2 of diamonds, continuation. Then the king of spades. Then the jack of clubs. And now the queen of spades just for a roughing hook. And Declare has set up both a spade and a diamond to pitch his 2 club losers. That's unbelievable. Wow. Very poor defense in the other room. So we see what should have happened. Ace of diamonds, jack of diamonds, pinning the 10 doubleton. And North should really trust his partner, right? His partner is over here with all of the hearts. North should realize that his partner is trying to tap Declare and continue the good work by continuing diamonds. So I don't see any reason to even try and cash a spade. Like, we would be very upset if Declare roughed that trick. I don't see any reason to play clubs. There's no real reason to play a trump through. We can always do that later if necessary when we get in with one of our black suit tricks. So it seems pretty clear to me to just continue the 9 of diamonds. But North is thinking things over. I mean, maybe something North is wondering is it possible partner has a club void, right? Like, East pretty clearly doesn't have spade support. East is marked with diamond shortness, and East has some hearts. But North was aware of the long tank before a 4 heart bid, so East probably has hearts and clubs over here. So maybe there was some chance from North's perspective that the right defense now is to give partner club ruff. That would be a spectacular way to let this contract through. I guess it wouldn't have made yet, but we would be getting pretty close if we get a low club into the 10 and dummy. I'm a little surprised by the length of time it's taken North to continue a 3rd diamond. I mean, maybe he's just like wondering why it is his partner didn't double 4 hearts. And he could have a bit of a blinders on in that scenario, right? Like, he's looking at ace, king, 4th of spades, and he's like, oh, well, obviously the opponents couldn't run to 4 spades, I would double that. But his partner doesn't know that the opponents couldn't run to 4 spades. So if he works out that inference, then he'll probably figure out the right defense here. You know, now that I'm looking at it, maybe what he's wondering is, if I lead a diamond and declare just pitches a spade loser, have I really accomplished anything? So I guess it's possible that North is trying to figure out, do I need to cash a spade, stripping declares like loser on loser capability before playing a diamond? I'm hoping that's what's going on, because otherwise it just seems very clear to continue the diamond suit right now. And I mean, maybe he's right. Maybe declare would pitch a spade if we continue diamonds. I'm still a little confused, though. Because, like, if we continue diamonds and declare pitches a spade, then we can just exit a trump, right? And declare doesn't even pitch a spade. Like, I don't know. This felt like a long tank for something that was kind of irrelevant. It would be different if we weren't looking at all of these winning clubs over here. But with both black suits locked up, you know, we don't care if declare lets us cash the diamond 9. We're eventually going to get some black suit tricks and beat the contract. Okay, I mean, like, this is good play by Thomas, and this is, I think, kind of what I had said earlier, where if the hearts weren't splitting so badly, he could now rough out the ace of spades and pin the 9 doubleton and have 2 discards for his club losers. So he would just need 4-2 trumps from here. Sadly for him, the trump suit is 5-1, and he is going to go down. I suppose the question at this point is just down how many? I suspect that he's only going to be down 1. He's going to end up cashing 2 hearts, and then finding out about the bad split before playing a club to the ace. Leads the queen of spades for roughing finesse. And then can lead a club back towards the king. Is this right? Maybe this isn't right. Ooh. Maybe it is down 2. Because I think South might score a defensive beer. I suppose that's the only exciting thing that's going to happen in the hand from here on out. Ooh, diamond discard from North. Kind of a big blunder. So now we are just going to be down 1. North needed to save that diamond because it would have been good at the end of the hand. So this is even a worse defensive blunder because South was holding on to the 7 for a defensive beer. Well, declare can cross to the club ace, knock out that ace of spades, and South's 7 of diamonds will be left stranded. Down 1, but 10 imps. I I mean, East has played all 3 hands in this room and I think has done very well in the play. But he's going to be quite disappointed to learn that he's lost 10 on this set so far. I was saying that hopefully he will have easier hands, and I think that last one was a lot easier than the original 2. He still played it well. Came up with a layout where he could pitch his club losers by setting up dummy spades. But board 18, I think he's hoping that finally he won't have to play a hand. Club by East, a spade by West, and no trump by East. You know, I think I was going to say I think there's merit to bidding 2 spades for the sole purpose of making sure partner gets a breather on this hand. I don't like rebidding 2 of a major on these types of hands. Just in general, I think I would rather play a no trump. But in this particular instance, I definitely can see merits to doing so. Wow, and we get an insta low heart lead. From ace third. So heart to the jack and king. But despite what looks like it might have been somewhat effective, South has a bit of an unfriendly position to continue leading from here. I mean, a club switch would be best, but you know, obviously leading into the ace-jack is a bit less appealing than leading into an ace-10. I mean, neither one of which looks all that great, but do you really want to lead hearts back, setting up the queen? Not really. Do you want to lead trumps? Probably not. That's just going to help declare. Thanks for hanging out, Allie. Good night to you. So we've collected a diamond trick on defense, but at the cost of Declare setting up a diamond discard for one of his club losers. Trumps are splitting, so this contract should make, but given that North-South played a no trump in the other room, going down 1, this will just be a push board, I think. But at least for the sake of Thomas, he has been able to sit here as dummy now and like collect his thoughts. You know, something that's good to do in your spare time, if there is any of that when you're playing at the bridge table, is to try and like mentally chalk up some imps for each side if you can do so. And as dummy, he finally has an opportunity to do that. Like, maybe he's going to be doing that as well while he's playing these hands as Declare, kind of thinking through, I guess, the likely outcomes at the other table. But you do want to be saving a lot of your energy for the more important hands. So Declare probably just going to pray that the trumps are splitting. This isn't one of those situations where, you know, you're vulnerable and you have to guess, like, if the trumps split, I could make it, but if they don't, I might go down 3, and minus 300 would be a large score to give up. So I think Declare was just content to try that third round of trumps. If they didn't split and he got tapped out, so be it. He would be down, you know, 2. But it's not vulnerable. But here, he, you know, I guess I was going to say he does need to guess whether to lead a club up towards the jack or a heart up towards the, well, presumably finesse North for the 10, right? We don't really expect North to have underled the ace of hearts. But he guesses correctly. So 110, but a push board. Things not going the way of Vinciguerra yet, although I think they've done quite well at this table to at least keep the margin manageable, losing only 10 in these first few boards, given the results in the other room, which are quite strong. We're on to board 19. Whoa. What? I'm sorry. What? How is it possible that 3-0 doubled in the South went down 2? There's no way. North-South just have 8 top tricks, and the defense can only take 4 clubs and the spade ace. I guess on like a low spade lead from West, declare misguesses. Okay, actually that makes a lot of sense. A low spade lead from West to the queen, and then they take 4 clubs and the ace of spades. Okay. I'm back on board. But this feels like a really strong result once again for Team Black in the other room. It might be duplicated. But I'm pretty sure that it's not going to be duplicated as 3-0 in the South. And if not for an opening low spade lead, Declare will not be going down 2. It's kind of funny, if Declare had flown King of Spades at trick 1, he would have made it. I wonder what the auction was to get there. A heart, a no trump, 2 diamonds, 3 diamonds, 3-0. Pass, double by West, ambitious. And then we do get a low spade lead. Declare can make the contract here. This would have been a huge result. It's very scary to put up the king, right? Because if you guess wrong and it goes ace and then a spade comes back, you're going to go down 1 million. But I think this was his only opportunity to make it. Well, I'm sure it was. And it's probably worthwhile enough to give it a second look. I mean, West is the one who doubled, right? Would West double and then lead a spade away from the queen? Maybe. But, so that's potentially a big miss in the other room. And what's going on this auction here? So South preempts 2 diamonds, weak 2 in diamonds, with just a 5-card suit, but favorable. Take out double by West. Redouble by North, you know, showing some values. 2 spades by East, and South doubles. And it almost looks to me like East-West are not on the same, or North-South are not on the same page, because I would have been very tempted to pass out the double of 2 spades with North's hand. Although, you know, I guess looking at the 4-card diamond support, maybe that's a terrible idea. Never mind, scratch that. Wrong thought process. But I mean, like, clearly South's double is penalty, and he couldn't have any more spades for his 2-diamond preempt in the start. So 3 no trump reached by South. And what we lead is West. I mean, we might just lead a low spade again. Although, I think it's possible to find the club. So he does find the club lead. Now that I'm looking at the auction a little bit more, right? South has indicated penalty in spades. So South probably has some spade stuff, which means South may well have the spade king. So I like this decision to lead the only unbid suit against 3-0. And this is quickly going to result in down 1. West is not going to take any chances whatsoever, and in fact, this is going to be good by West to cash out the ace of spades when he gets in, because otherwise he would get squeezed, or might get squeezed. Oh, heart discard, not so great. I guess it doesn't matter. But if Declare had thrown a diamond and West had made the mistake of like leading a low spade, or just exiting a heart, then West would actually get squeezed. So 6 imps, all due to a double, and then kind of putting Declare to an uncomfortable guess at trick 1 in the other room. But we have got 9 boards to go in this segment. Play has been fairly slow at this table, but I think understandably so. So West has a 10 count. I mean, we probably don't want to be preempting 2 diamonds on this hand, and as such, I think we just pass. But we'll see what West elects to do. East, if given the opportunity, will open a spade in 3rd seat. And I think we're passing as South, but there are a couple bids I wouldn't be surprised to see South make. I mean, one of them would be double. He has a 5-card heart suit, but it kind of looks more like a 4-card suit. But he does elect to pass. So we should see some sort of Drury bid from West, which we get. And 4 spades by East. So you know, in the other room, looks like East-West never found their spade fit. And in this room, North-South never found their heart fit. They have a 10-card heart fit that went undisclosed. So how's this contract do? Declare has a diamond loser, a club loser, and a spade loser off the top. The spades break, and Declare is just going to need to guess the jack of clubs to make the contract from here. I mean, the natural way to play the club suit is probably low to the king and then run the 9. But Declare might have some sort of inferences from, you know, the lack of bidding, as well as the opening lead. And he might get some more during the play. But my oh my, Thomas has been tested during this set so far, and I think he's passed all of the tests. Oh, it was getting warm again. I can finally take my jacket off. This is great. I hate having my jacket on only indoors. Shouldn't be wearing winter clothes in the middle of the summer. This one, I think, is going to be a little bit more difficult for Declare to get right. So I would be surprised if he makes it, which is, you know, very sad for team morale because they've just been losing imps left and right. I don't think due to their fault in this room. You know, there is the possibility of Declare playing 2 hearts, pitching a club, and then leading a club to the king, and then planning on running the 9 of clubs on the way back. This will give him a little bit of extra comfort, being able to then ruff the third round of clubs high in the dummy and playing a spade to the 9, hooking north for the 10 of spades. So I think that's a little bit of an improvement on the line of just guessing the jack of clubs. This is also going to fail, of course, because South is sitting on the 10 of spades, but that might be the line of play he comes up with. There's a couple of considerations in these like big 2-suited hands. Oftentimes, you're going to want to do two things, right? You want to pull trumps and set up your side suit. And from the perspective of safety, in which I mean avoiding the opponents getting roughs in the other suits, pulling trumps immediately is the best way to go about that, right? Like if you strip the opponent's trumps, they can't get roughs in side suits. But from a practical standpoint, you're often going to need to knock out cards in the trump suit and knock out cards in your side suit. And so knocking out cards in your side suit first allows you a bit of extra flexibility against some potential bad breaks, where if you've kept trumps in both hands, you might be able to rough your side suit good. Well, Thomas, once again, spending a long time thinking about this. So the Queen of Hearts goes to the Ace. We'll see if he cashes the King of Hearts to go after this plan of potentially roughing the third round of clubs in the dummy. There's a bit of difficulty in this line of play because, because in this scenario, right, if we go club to the King of Hearts pitching a club, club to the King, club back, and let's say South wins the Ace. That means South is out of clubs, North has the Jack remaining, but the opponents have communication in diamonds. So South could then lead a diamond to his partner's hand, get a third round of clubs, which he roughs with the 4 of spades, for example, forcing the King from dummy. And now the opponents have 4 trumps out, and we've squandered one of our high trumps already. So it's not like this line of play is without risk. This whole King of Hearts pitching a club plan to rough the third round of clubs in dummy. So, having gone through that whole analysis and now looking at it, I actually quite like what Thomas is doing. Just pull trumps, right? He's going to go down. I imagine he'll probably go down, taking the percentage play in the club suit. But pulling trumps seems to be the thing that avoids any unnecessary complications. Okay. South spending a bit of time thinking about this. And I guess I would say the good news about leading a high trump here is that if the opponents kind of make a mistake by taking the Ace of Spades too early, then maybe we do have the ability to rough this third round of clubs in the dummy. For example, if South won the Ace of Spades here on the first round of the suit, and then say continue to heart or something, we could pitch a club, play club to the King, a club back, and then if South switches to trumps, we could win the second round and then rough the third club and dummy. It would require quite a few defensive missteps for that to work out, but that would have been a possible win for the plan of pulling trumps. It's also possible that by pulling trumps, the opponents just play clubs for us. If South was sitting on Ace third of spades and a doubleton club, Maybe he expects that his best chance to beat it would be to win the spade ace and then switch to the club, hoping it could go club, club, club rough, or something like that. King of diamonds. I do not like this play. Okay, I will tell you why. I think there's a decent chance Thomas guesses the clubs now. Not only does the king of diamonds very clearly indicate diamond shortness, which means that now South is more likely to have club length, but the fact that South was able to lead the king of diamonds from King Doubleton here strongly conveys to me that he knows an enormous amount about the hand, and that would only be the case if he's looking at a bunch of club cards. Wow, look at that, what a play. So Thomas does guess the jack of clubs. I think if South played back the 10 of spades after winning the ace, just pulling trumps, Thomas would get this wrong. But that was I think, big defensive error from South. And you might say, oh, what's the problem? It's that the cards you play kind of gives away more information than just you holding that specific card. You have to think about what kinds of hands would you play that card from. Like, we know South doesn't have the ace-king of diamonds. He didn't lead it at trick 1. And so South switching to the king from clearly shortness not only marks him with diamond shortness and therefore club length, but I think more importantly, as an expert inference, marks him with more of the high cards on the hand, because he's able to make this kind of, unusual play from looking at that queen 6, the diamonds and dummy, right? Like, how does he know Declare doesn't have the diamond ace? Probably because he has most of the high cards. So well done by Thomas, who has been passing all of his exams with flying colors, I think, on these hands. And currently, the match is back to being pretty close. 2 imps separate the squads. Very much needed win of 13 there, because their teammates in the other room found their heart fit and were able to stay at a low enough level that they could make the part score. I mean, I wonder if 4 hearts was just cold. They have 2 trump losers and a spade loser, but maybe the diamond suit actually provides enough discards somehow. But on to board 21. This is becoming a bit of a theme, actually, where the Vinciguerra team is playing the contract at both tables. And I brought this up before, that when I have scorecards that look like, this thing that's going on right now, my teammates are playing 2 diamonds at one table and 2 hearts at the other table, I kind of expect us to win the match, because that means the opponents are not bidding aggressively enough. So it's kind of an old school style of bridge to just sit back and pass throughout and try and collect plus 100 or plus 50 against contracts, but it's more of a new school style to just be hyper aggressive, bid all of these hands, compete for part scores, bid a bunch of games, right? And that's, I think, what we're seeing now. So in a longer match, we might see the effects of this play out a little bit better. But in this shorter match, it's anyone's game, as you can see from the current scorecard. Okay, we got to 2 hearts somehow. Club a heart, a no trump, 2 hearts. Ooh, actually interesting. Maybe this is just systemically what this east-west pair does. This could indicate that they don't frequently raise on 3-card support. because Thomas' hand, I mean, it has a singleton diamond, but aside from that, it kind of looks like a hand that wants to play a no trump. If he only has a 5-2 heart fit, it is not a particularly good heart suit. So that to me kind of indicates that maybe they don't raise to 2 hearts on 3, and so he has rebid a 5-card suit here. Opening club lead went to the ace, and Thomas has now once again guessed incredibly well. If we're just looking at the heart suit in isolation, the percentage play would be to run the 10 of hearts and then play low to the 9, hoping to play for honor 3rd of hearts in North's hand. But after the opening club lead, well, I say this, but then he kind of instantly misguesses the spade suit, which might not be a misguess. I mean, I'm not certain what he's playing for yet. But what I was saying is after the opening club lead, he's just trying to prevent ruffs in the south hand. So he plays the second round of hearts, and North now needs to guess what to do. Because the only way to beat the contract from here is to go king of clubs, club ruff. Then cash the diamond ace, and then North scores the ace of hearts. But remember the auction. East bid 1 heart and then 2 hearts. You have to take into account he's a passed hand. But he could easily have a 6-card heart suit. So if that's the case, king of clubs club is only going to help declare to, set up the club suit for any discards he needs. So North, thinking things through, he's probably going to take into account the fact that Thomas did not preempt hearts in second seat. But it looks like he has spade length, right? And if Thomas has spade length, then the lack of a 2-heart preempt might just mean that he's 6-4 in the majors. Wait, I have miscounted the number of tricks. I was counting 3 tricks for north-south. I gotcha. So actually the lack of a spade finesse, this is what was confusing to me, but now I'm back on board. If he needed the spade finesse, he would have taken it, but his whole objective here on this hand is just to prevent the opponents from getting a bunch of club ruffs. And so that's why he played a heart to the king, that's why he played a spade to the ace, so that he'd pull another round of trumps. So a diamond comes through. 8 of diamonds is an interesting spot card because this doesn't look like a count card, and South might be a little confused, maybe thinking that it's correct to try and cash the diamond queen. Wow. Continues a low diamond. Does declare need to guess this right to make his contract? Because if we ruff and then knock out the spade king and they tap us again by playing another diamond, they can get in with the club king and then run the diamond suit after pulling trumps. Wait a second. Maybe this is very strong defense. Once again, I mean, we've been treated to an incredible show of both declare play from East, who's been playing hand after hand after hand in this segment, and very, very good defense from North-South. Yeah, pretty difficult position to read the diamond suit, but I I think he's just down 1 now. The defense is in control. Wow. Yeah, now South can continue the Queen of Diamonds, doing the good job of tapping Declare. And this is actually going to be down 2, right? Oh, wait, but more importantly, what are we going to see? We are going to see a defensive beer. Now, again, I mean, North isn't 100% certain that he knows where the remaining hearts are. But there it is. He cashes the Ace of Hearts and now can play a diamond to his partner's hand, which is good. Yikes. So Thomas started off the hand quite well by playing a heart to the king, but then I guess just, fiddled around a little too much, and the defense gave him a very difficult problem to solve that he got wrong when it went diamond to the ace and a low diamond on the table. Impressive stuff. So that marks the halfway point of this segment of play. We got 7 boards to go. Then there will be a break for everyone to eat, including myself. And then we will resume in, well, I mean, currently we still have 7 boards to play, but it's going to start up in an hour and 50 minutes for the 3rd segment. All right, pass, 2 diamonds by West. This is their way to show 18 to 19 balanced. North passes. I'm not that familiar with this kind of system. Like, is 2 of a major to play? If so, Thomas can probably bid 2 hearts here and just, effectively treat it as like a transfer type auction over 1 no bid. You wrong side the contract, but you get to play a level lower, or a level lower. But he elects to bid 2 no. This is presumably some sort of like artificial relay. He's going to show his heart suit now. Whoop. 3 diamonds not by North. 3 diamonds by East. Looks like a transfer to me. I'm a little surprised the other room got to 4 hearts. I don't really think 4 hearts should be bid with just a king and 2 jacks opposite 18 to 19. And Thomas agrees with me. So it looks as if he didn't have a way to relay or to sign off in 2 hearts. So this will be a nice result. East-West in the other room did go down in 4 hearts. And so, assuming that this contract makes, which looks like can't 4 hearts make? Hold on. Can't 4 hearts make, right? Because the spades are blocked. So if Declare goes after diamonds now, I mean, not that Declare would go after diamonds, but if they like won the ace of spades and played a diamond to the 10 immediately, I think you can make it double dummy. But fair enough. It's very difficult to make that contract, and you probably wouldn't in practice. Because flip the red aces and you have to pull trumps first, so it looks like, pulling trumps first is the preferable plan. But now South has the second spade trick for the defense setup. We'll get in with the diamond ace and cash that. So with the club hook working, there's no real problem. And I think even with the club hook not working, South's ace of diamonds is going to get knocked out before the defense has a chance to play a club through. Okay. South's ace of diamonds might get knocked out immediately. I guess that's one way to do it. Although this line of play is going to make declarer a little bit uncomfortable. Because after this jack of spades, now a club comes through and declarer has to take the hook. He can't afford to play the ace, he just doesn't have enough discards. So, I mean, again, right, like if we switch the red aces between the two hands, then declarer's line of play was better on this one. But it just feels more natural to me to pull trumps if that's a sensible line of play. And especially if it's like a guess. Do I pull trumps or do I play my side suit? Pulling trumps always feels right. But still, 3 hearts making, this is going to be 6 imps, I think. 6 imps to Vinciguerra. And the match is back to being very close. 1 imp separating the squads. There's only been 2 imps in total difference in the scores this segment. And here we get a bit of a more tame hand. We saw someone pass a 12 count yesterday. It was a pretty bad 12 count with no aces. This one is also kind of that caliber. Pretty bad 12 count, no aces, but I expect these players to be opening with the south hand. So we should get something like a club, a diamond overcall from west, a heart from north, and maybe 2 diamonds from east, 2 hearts from south. That could be the exact auction at the other table. So club, diamond, heart, kind of all is predicted. East doesn't need to raise his partner's diamond suit. I mean, 4 triple 3, most of his values in the heart suit are kind of negatives, but he does elect to bid 2 diamonds. South does bid 2 hearts, and I expect this to end the auction. West would have been the only one who could have considered taking another call. I mean, I imagine we lead our diamond suit. Maybe East is trying to decide which diamond to lead. It could be important to lead the queen of diamonds to kind of, you know, enforce a finesse position. Like if South had king third, for example, then we would want to lead the queen so that we could repeat the diamond finesse at trick 2. But he does go with a low diamond lead. The defense appears to have 2 aces outside of trumps and 3 natural trump tricks. And with every suit splitting well, it's going to be hard for them to take more than that. The only small chance that the defense has is when Declare leads a spade to the king and it gets ducked, Declare might misguess the spade suit on the way back. But I think given the overcall and the lack of a cubid from East, where East could have bid, say, 2 clubs, a cubid right here to show a good hand, I suspect Declare is going to do the right thing. But I suppose we will wait and see. It'll be a big deal if Declare goes wrong, though, because that will be a 5-imp swing for the other side. But first things first, we want to start pulling trumps. I mean, on a good day, we're going to catch West with Ace-Jack or King-Jack doubleton in hearts, and we can pick up the heart suit for only 2 losers. So heart to the queen. East gets in, and probably is just going to play back a club. You know, East saw that first round of clubs, and kind of understands that a club exit is safe. I mean, maybe he'll play back a diamond, but one of those feels like the right thing to do. I think a spade switch would be a little bit too revealing as East, because with like 3 small spades, we probably wouldn't switch to spades. With ace-third of spades, we probably wouldn't, but Thomas disagrees. He switches to a low spade. A very good duck by West. You know, okay, I have a theory. I take this all back. And I've said this before, the French players are very well known for giving count in a lot of situations. So Thomas probably switched to a low spade here to give very clear spade count to his partner and let him know that it was going to be safe to duck the ace. That could be what's going through his mind. But once again, Declare still is going to have to figure out the spade suit. He has plenty of entries to his hand in the clubs to do so. I think he's going to lead a low heart now. Or maybe the 10 of hearts. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I think he'll probably play a heart to get a little bit more information about the heart suit. And also, I mean, he just doesn't want to give up any roughs, right? Like if someone roughs with a small trump and then the ace-jack of hearts are in the same hand, he's going to go down. So he does need to pull a second round of trumps pretty soon. Maybe just being a little bit careful, you know, after seeing the spade switch, he probably expected the ace of spades to be offside, but Cedric ducked the ace of spades so smoothly that he might be second guessing himself a little bit. Still, I suspect he'll do the right thing, but finally for once, we see the French pair on the side of a very nice defense, and we'll have to see if North can handle it. King of diamonds is interesting. Club to the king, diamond ruff. Club to the ace. Okay, well, now that all of these tricks have survived, I mean, we're still not there yet, right? Like, I still get the sense that the right thing to do is to play a spade to the 10, but it looks to me like what Declare's trying to do is he wants to exit a heart here and throw West in. It's very risky though, right? Like, if West happens to have ace-jack of hearts, it just goes heart to the jack, ace of hearts, diamond tapping Declare, West gets in with the ace of spades, and then scores a defensive beer. So, I mean, he guessed correctly, right? And this would have been necessary if West had the jack of spades. But well done. Well done to make the contract. May not have been the percentage play, but any line of play that makes, I am all for. So we're on to board 24, and it is true that this table has been a little bit slow, but they have had quite a few very difficult problems that have been presented mostly to East. Pretty much every problem has been presented to East, and he got almost all of them right, save for board 21, where he ended up going down in 2 hearts. But on to board 24. So West got to 2 diamonds at their table. Here, West is passed. We see North open a no trump with a 16 count. Passed by East, probably passed by South. And then West will find a way to show a 2-suited hand over this. How did they get to 2 diamonds in the other room? Wait, also what? Is this the real bid? Oh my god, this is the real bid. Look at this. I wonder if this is a convention, or if South just decided that he wanted to transfer to a 4-card major. I've seen people do it with some success. Transfer to a 4-card suit. But this doesn't really feel like the hand for it. I get the sense that, like, South was thinking, like, 2 hearts might be a better contract than 1 no trump, which I don't know if either of those things is true. But transferring to hearts is just going to make it more likely the opponents find a spade fed, I believe. Wow. All right, we've had a bit of an unusual auction so far. East-West are going to be a little upset if they get to 4 spades. I'll put it that way. But okay, it looks like West has finally elected to be a little more conservative. So 3 spades. Got to imagine North leads a trump, and he does, just to get a look at the dummy. But if North doesn't cash the ace of hearts, this will make 4. The diamond suit is coming home with just 1 ruff in the dummy, and all of Declare's hearts can go away on those clubs. So it seems like North is probably just going to pull 3 rounds of trumps and take the heart ace, and then call it a day. Pray that partner has the king of hearts. Oh, I guess North might also be under the false illusion that West has a singleton heart from the auction, this 2 diamond transfer. Plus 140, only a 2-ump swing. But that means the entire segment is tied so far, going into the last 4 boards. And Vinciguerra was originally up by 1. They continue to be up by 1. Wow, what a hand here. Okay, so North is going to open 2 spades probably with a 6-card suit. Yeah, how is this auction going to go? I mean, if it goes 2 spades and East passes, South will probably take the push to 4 spades. And West does have a hand with both minors, but we've seen, you know, we saw West get into a little bit of trouble earlier on a hand with both minors, board 16, and he might have that in the back of his mind. This hand's much stronger than what he held on that board. But, you know, so I'm kind of curious, is he going to come in with 4-no? Or is he just going to leave it be, figuring that his diamonds are so weak that he doesn't want to get involved? Ace-queen doubleton of spades looks like a horrific value, especially when you're going to have to bid 4-no and let partner pick a suit, because now the spade lead is coming through your ace-queen. It looks like 5 clubs is going to make, though, actually. So if he bids 4-no and East bids 5 clubs, we'll get a spade lead. Declare will reject the spade finesse, win the ace, pull 2 rounds of trump ending in East's hand, lead the king of hearts for roughing finesse. It's going to get covered, but then he'll have another hand entry in clubs to pitch a spade on the queen of hearts, losing just 2 diamonds in the end. So West does bid 4-no, and that's going to be an important bid because the other table did make 5 clubs. But more importantly, at the other table, they got to 5 clubs from the right side and probably didn't face as difficult defense. So once again, we'll see a spade lead. Thomas is going to be faced with another very, very difficult problem. I think this one's going to be fairly easy for him to get right, because the 3 spade preemptor, very likely to hold the spade king. The non-preemptor, very likely to hold the heart ace. So as long as the club suit is 2-1, the line of play I had mentioned will work out. Okay, well, this is going to make things a little bit easier. Ace of hearts lead. Not a terrible choice of opening lead. You know, South might think that his best chance to beat the contract might be to give his partner a heart rough, right? If West had something like 0-2 in the majors rather than 2-0 as he does, he might have been able to go ace of hearts, heart rough. East started with a 5-card heart suit, which is very possible. But not today, not today. So much faster hand. Thomas is going to be very thankful for that. And 3 boards to go in the segment. Is the other table done? We can pull up their results. They have 1 of these boards played, just this one. 4 hearts in the West. So in this room, Thomas has to decide if he wants to open his hand. He could open a spade. I mean, 9 count, 5-5 in the majors, first seat, very possible. But he may elect to just pass, hoping to come back in later with like a Michael's Cupid to show both of his suits. And that's what he does. He'll be very pleased to hear his partner open a heart. And then we probably get a 2 diamond overcall by North. Like one thing, okay, North elects to double, but I was gonna say one thing we really don't want to happen is for us to pass and then have the auction go like 1 no by East, and the opponents just bid to 3 no trump very quickly and partner doesn't know what to lead. Because from our perspective, if they get to 3 no, a diamond might be the only lead to beat it. But in this case, it's not really going to make much of a difference. Well, I say that, but now that North has made this takeout double, if East does elect to bid just 4 hearts, which I don't think he will, South, with the singleton heart and 4-card spade support, might bid 4 spades. This could get bloody, actually. The fact that North decided to make this kind of like, I don't know if you can call it an off-shape takeout double, but a takeout double without 4 spades. Could come back to haunt him. Well, let's see what Thomas does to start with. Okay, he elects to splinter 4 diamonds. I think very reasonably, right? He's a passed hand, so his high card values are limited, which is important. And he does have diamond shortness. He does have sufficient trump length to make a splinter bid. And this might get his partner to a slam if his partner has a very well-fitting hand. Now, as I say that, once again, South is kind of placed in this position where they need to make a choice, right? They have the singleton heart, partner made a takeout double of hearts. Do we save in 4 spades? I mean, do we bid 4 spades hoping to make it as South? I think we very well could see a 4 spade bid here. And there it is. Now, okay, we're not done. We're not done. The party's just starting. Because West is looking at a singleton spade, partner has a singleton diamond, West might bid 5 hearts. So ultimately, we get the par result on the board. But 4 spades doubled would have been a very spicy place to play. I don't actually know if it goes for too many. I mean, North-South have very few losers. I guess the club suit is positioned a bit unfriendly for them. But it's not as if East-West can just like pull trumps and say Declare has no tricks. No, Declare has... Oh, actually the diamond suit's very unfriendly as well. Okay, I am now of the belief that 4 spades doubled would have been a massacre upon further inspection. So yeah, Thomas was probably a little bit upset that partner bid in front of him, but understandably so. He's going to be less upset when his partner quickly scores up 650. But this could have been quite a swing, I would say. So how'd the auction go at the other table? We got a heart opener, no bid from North, so not even a 2 diamond overcall. It's kind of reasonable to not bid. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a huge chicken about bidding in these spots, but I have had my fair share of even better hands than this overcall at the 2 level, like a good 6-card suit, and get doubled and go for 800. And that'll happen against better players more often, like the players at this table. So North electing not to make the 2 diamond overcall, but also didn't make the, I'll call it an off-shape takeout double with having not 4 spades. Well, the hand's not over yet, I mean, but it's pretty close to being finished. Declare has done a decent job so far about going about trying to set up the spade suit, which he will be able to do with 2 more ruffs. He can also lead a club up to the jack, which will work. Okay, now he can claim. Once he knows that the spades are officially 4-3, he has no problems whatsoever pulling the last trump, roughing the spades good. So push board, 2 boards to go. The other room on this one ended up 2 no trump in the east was the final contract. That feels like a lot of no trump because east has a 12 count and west has an 8 count. How did they get there? Especially after South is probably opening the bidding. Looks like South should be opening like a diamond with an 11 count, 4-4 in the majors, but maybe not. I mean, if South passes, we could see 3 passes around to a diamond from East. No, South does elect to open his 11. I mean, 4-4 in the majors is just one of those situations, especially in 2/1 style bidding, where passing puts you so far behind. Whereas opening the bidding, you're very likely to get to a 4-4 major suit fed if you have one. So diamond by South, a spade by North. East elects to pass. A little bit unusual, I would say, but maybe he wanted to have 4 clubs and 3 diamonds for the takeout double. Just double showing the other 2 suits. But Thomas, no interest whatsoever in competing on this hand. He says, partner can't act over a diamond when I have diamond length. No real reason to get involved with this one. It must be the opponent's hand. And I mean, he's kind of wrong about that, but he is right that the opponents have the spade suit, so they can outcompete him. So if this makes, we will see a new leader in the match. There will be 2 imps headed the way of Team Black, at least 2 imps. And it looks like after the opening club lead, Declare probably will make this one. He can pull trumps, eventually lose a diamond, 3 hearts, and a spade. Might not even lose a diamond, depending on how the play goes. But that means we'll see 2 imps going the way of Team Black and 1 board to play in this segment. I mean, I guess maybe at this point it's going to be 3 imps going the way of Team Black. Declare can unblock the club ace and then pull the last trump. Pitch 2 diamonds on the clubs and just cross-ruff the red suits from there. Kind of a cute little play by Thomas, underleading his ace-queen 4th to his partner's king doubleton and hearts. He must have gotten a little bit of a suit preference signal there. But there we have it. There's the claim. Declare gets to pull the last trump and cash all of his winners. So what does the last board have in store for us? No result yet from the other table. So they're playing it currently. North-South have a bit of a spade fit. I wonder if they will get to game on the hand. Game does not look all that good, although it does make, if you guess all of the suits correctly, the club hook working, and if you figure out to pick off the stiff king of spades, you'll bring that suit home for no losers. But first, North-South have to navigate their way through the auction. So East is going to open a club in third seat. Or maybe East opens a no trump. Okay, he opens a club. I was drawn to the fact that East is third seat white on red and has no major suits, and therefore a no trump looks somewhat attractive. But it would be very borderline a psych to open a no trump with this hand. I mean, he has the values for it, right? He has a 14 count, but 10 cards and 2 suits. It's a bit much. Okay. So we get a club by East, and South elects to overcall a no trump with a fairly weak 5-card spade suit, but what seems to be 2 club stoppers, which is fairly reasonable. North bids 2 clubs, Stamen, and South bids 2 spades. And now North needs to decide if his hand is worthy of an invite, because it's very possible North was just bidding 2 clubs as like a garbage Stamen type thing. He was planning to, over 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, bid 2 hearts, pass whatever partner did. But now that he's found a 4-4 spade fit, does he think his hand is a little bit better? Opposite a normal 15 to 17 no trump, or what a lot of these players might play, 14 to 16, you wouldn't really consider the North hand to be an invite. But we've said before, no trump overcalls, especially vulnerable, tend to be a little bit stronger than that 15 to 17 range. And so here North elects to give a bit of extra value to his club queen, invite, and South, of course, happy to accept with a 5th trump. So I mean, once again, the hand is not over. The club hook is working, so there's no club losers, there's only 1 diamond loser, and 2 heart losers. But Declare will need to pick up the spade suit to make this one. And to start with, he's going to have to find an entry to the dummy to pick up the spade suit. It looks most natural to me to enter dummy with a diamond ruff, but maybe it's safer to just use the club suit that we know East is not over ruffing, because it's very possible East has something like, you know, some shape to the effect of 2, 3, 2, 6. That's possible. Doubleton diamond. And so if we did go king of diamonds to the ace, diamond back to our queen, diamond ruff and over ruff, East would score a trump trick that way. I mean, there's a lot of things Declare has to think about here. And nothing is immediately obvious to me, or probably to him, to do. Like, clubs could be 7-1. If clubs are 7-1, then his only real chance to make this would be to catch a stiff king of spades, which happens to work. I mean, he might try something to the effect of a discovery play by playing on hearts, with the thought process that it's very unlikely West has heart shortness, and so we might be able to do something like play a heart, East wins, plays a club back, we win. Play another heart, East wins, East plays a diamond, goes to the king and ace, diamond back to the queen, we ruff a club to get to dummy, and then we play the queen of hearts, and we get a bit of a count on East's hand when East shows out on this trick. So, and we can do all of this before we touch trumps, if we wanted to. But, okay, so Declare is off. He has won the 9 of clubs on the first round of the suit. And now needs to decide what his plan is. I mean, he was probably thinking about his plan before he played to trick 1. So I imagine he'll play relatively quickly here. And the clock continues to tick as he goes into the tank once again. This to me feels like a bit of improper technique. It's not as if he got any new information from this club trick. So okay, he's back off to the races. So ace of clubs. Now it looks like he's planning to ruff a club in the dummy and try the spade suit immediately. Although he's technically down now from a double dummy perspective if he guesses the spade's correct. Jans was sitting behind me, giving the worst ever possible commentary on this hand. Strange not to start with your side suit, but Declare is only concerned about guessing the spades. He's not concerned, he doesn't need to set up the hearts. The issue here is if Declare takes the spade finesse, he can't ruff a diamond in the dummy. And if he plays on hearts now to try and set up a discard for his diamond loser, the opponents are going to be able to play diamonds at him and force him to ruff a diamond, setting up this 10 of spades. But I don't think Declare is unhappy. I'm pretty sure he was just planning to play for 2-2 spades all along, which means this is going to be down 1 and will be a swing for Vinciguerra. So how many imps is this going to be? It's going to be 270 for 7. I think it's 7. Which is a big deal, especially in a match that is this close. And that means that Vinciguerra is going to be ahead by 5 going into the second half of play. After the break, we will be resuming in a little bit over an hour from now. So I'm going to need to take a quick break. And I mean, my plan was to go to the gym, but I also need to eat. I don't think I can do both. I should probably just get some food, some breakfast food. That sounds like a good idea. Can go to the gym later. Well, Declare hasn't, gone down yet. I mean, I think he has gone down given the state of the opponent's cards, but he might think that even if he takes the spade hook, he might still make as long as East has the diamond ace. He could go spade to the 8, diamond for a finesse, spade to the jack, pulling the last trump, and then another diamond. Very possible. But of course we see that the diamond finesse is not working, so that line of play will not work out. Long tank from Declare. I mean, again, this hand kind of was all about picking up the spade suit. But if he wanted to protect against 3-1 spades, he would have needed to start on the hearts earlier. It does feel a little natural to me to lead the jack of hearts, not because I think I'm trying to set up my side suit, but kind of, as I had mentioned, as some sort of discovery play. All right, almost moment of truth here. But even if he guesses the spade's right, it still doesn't work. Okay, this is incredibly slow, and this would really put me on tilt if I was at the table, because you're just not really allowed to play this slowly. Like, it's okay. I'm totally okay with someone sitting there and thinking for 5 minutes and then playing the rest of the hand quickly. That's fine. That is like perfectly okay. But you can't take like 3 or 4 pauses every trick to, you know, think for a few minutes. Jansma is still yelling at everyone else, all of the other spectators. God, this is like unbearable to me. This is the time when on defense I would just show them my hand and be like, it doesn't matter. Obviously neither East or West know that, right? Like, from East perspective, Declare could have the diamond 10. From West perspective, Declare might have the king, queen, jack of diamonds. So it's not as if they can really claim on defense. Any minute now. Okay, he goes up with the jack of spades, kind of realizing that this might be percentage because the ace of diamonds could be off. So how badly have things gone now? Because now it looks like the opponents can get in and cash the 10 of spades to pull trumps, which is exactly what's happening. So from here, East-West are going to score a diamond and 2 hearts. And that's going to be 2 down. Okay, so it's actually an even bigger swing to Vinciguerra on this board. Nine imps, and so that makes the margin 7.